Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's tournament coverage of the 2023 Geibel Classic at Buchmiller Park. We are on the back nine. My name is Emily Dale, and joining me today is Nathan.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to watch the conclusion of this little one-round tournament at Buchmiller Park. It's got some players off to a hot start. We'll see if they can keep it going, and we got some players looking to make up some ground.
Absolutely. So we're back at hole 10. It is an uphill par 3. It's just 221, but we'll see how they navigate this fairway. It's a slightly uphill tee pad, which I think throws off the shot a little bit.
Yep, definitely makes things tricky. This is another hole that had a tree fall down within the past year. It used to be on the right side, kind of leaned over the fairway, which makes this hole a lot more open. Now you can kind of just go straight at it with a putter like Travis did, or a forehand, or whatever your preferred throwing style is. But like Jessie shot right there would not have made it past the tree 6 months ago, but today it does, and he's got a birdie putt.
I thought this fairway looked more open, but I didn't know if it was just because it was winter, but that makes more sense.
Yeah, definitely. Torrin, he's going 150-gram shark. Love to see it.
Oh my goodness, what a
super hyzer flip. It's a great shot.
I'm not sure I've seen any other pro take the DX 150-gram shark, as we see what can happen if you get off to the wrong side of the fairway. Like I had mentioned on the front nine, those trees are not where you want to be. It is tight in there.
Yeah, a lot of skinny trees. Scrambling is quite difficult, as you can see Ethan going something. I don't know. Roller tomahawk. Not sure what he was going for there, but either way, he still got a putt. Yeah. Not a terrible result.
I was gonna say a valiant effort. It did kind of push him to the other side. Oof. I thought he was gonna do it. That was gonna be a beautiful par save if it was.
Yeah, that would have been really incredible. Unfortunately, he will have to settle for the bogey, but Jessie wastes no time. Cans that 25-30 footer for birdie.
Oh yeah, that was a great putt.
Yeah, I will say Torrin's bag just misses that putt. Is very unique. He has some of the flippiest discs I've ever seen anyone throw. Takes quite a bit of touch to pull it off.
I love to see it. I love seeing the unique way that players throw and what they choose. It's always fascinating to me. There's been some really great birdies here from the players. As we had mentioned on the front nine, it is a winter day, but it is a warmer day for February. So we're in the 40s. We do have some winds going that can come into play, but definitely what we want to feel when we're in February.
Yeah, definitely nothing to complain about.
Yeah. So hole 11 is a par 3, just under 300 feet. The thing that really comes into play are these guardian trees and the roots on the ground that can kick the disc in different directions. What's your preferred play here?
Yeah, I like to do what Travis is doing right here, which is just kind of take a forehand out wide. Ooh, that was a very fortunate break to get caught by those branches. The hardest part about this hole is getting your disc to stick by the basket. Like you said, there's a bunch of roots. The ground is pretty hard. Oh my gosh, how did that not go in?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
That had to have
right
been
in front
metal.
of the basket.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a crazy shot from Jessie. Nice shot from Dave too. But yeah, so the screen it slopes away from the basket, or left to right. So if you're going forehand, it's hard to get it to stick close by. Most of the time, if you'll see people hit those branches, or if it's low on the ground, it'll hit a root and stop it. Is kind of your best bet.
And this backhand play can easily sneak along, as it looks like his disc did, and those branches are tough to get around.
Yeah, the low line for the backhand is very difficult. If I do throw the backhand, I prefer to go like high spike hyzer and kind of just crash into the trees. It's kind of a plinko, luck play at that point, but I think it's your best bet. Oh, good run from Dave there.
He does get caught up by those roots. And I think this is a pretty hole. I think these trees while they can be frustrating, I think they're really unique.
Yeah, it's a great hole. And it makes putts like Ethan just had right there tricky, because if you go long, you end up where Torrin is, and he has like nothing, right? Like they're so low and they're so close to the basket. It's a very tricky green.
Oh, and we see that putt just a little bit high, which we've been seeing a couple of putts from Jessie coming out a little bit high. but he does tuck up right by the basket as we see some cleanups for par here.
Yeah, Jessie, he has a really spinny, direct putt that's a little bit nose up, so it can be, you know, heavily affected by the wind on just little gusts, which we were having all day. So, you know, if his putt comes out a little high, there's just absolutely no chance it's going in, just because it'll take off. So tough break, but you know, he's still got a great round going. 7 under through 11 holes is
Absolutely.
pretty solid.
So hole 12, it is a par 3. It's slightly downhill, 226, and this is, I think, what everybody would probably just call like the ace run hole.
It is, but you don't really want to ace run it, because if you
Yes.
do, you're going to have like a 30 to 40 foot comebacker from the woods coming back uphill. So it's, you know, you don't really want to, as Travis is kind of flirting with an ace run. That was some great touch
Yeah.
though, to get that to sit next to the basket and just stay there. Often when you see people land that close, it's just going to skip and slide like 30 long, like I would assume this shot is about to do. Yeah, there you go. So like the touch and the nose up, little bit of drift that Travis on that is really technical and very well done. This is the traditional play, just wide, low, overstable disc. You just use the overstability and the hill to just kind of run the disc over to the basket, and then you take your, you know, 15 footer or so. Torrin, of course, does not want to do that. This is some flippy AVR, I'm sure, that he's throwing nose up and kind of stalling in there.
Hey, it worked out.
It did. It did.
This is pushing a little bit straight. We'll see if it can check up there. And it does beautifully.
Yep, nice shot. Use the slope of the hill to perfection.
Oh, great.
Nice putt.
Good adjustment from the last hole as he cans that longer putt. And I think everybody else should have a pretty short putt here for birdie.
Yeah, looks like we're going to see our second star frame of the day, which is, this is 6 and 12 are the holes you would expect to see that on. 2 of the shorter holes on the course, very gettable, and our players are doing what we would expect them to do.
And Travis must be feeling really great at this point. He's 10 down through 12 holes. That's a hot streak here.
Yeah, he's on fire.
So hole 13 is a 204-foot uphill par 3. We do have a Mando in play on this hole. That is that big pull that you can see there on the right-hand side. Not super in play, but we do have the OB road as well. As you see, this is what we see more often, is that players will leak a little bit more to the left-hand side to avoid the road and the Mando.
Yeah, the Mando's only in play if it wasn't in play and you wanted to throw a big spike hyzer. You know, as you can see me give Jessie the thumbs up in the background. It's a really good shot. That's what I did. I like the forehand play here. Just kind of hug the right side and you know, fade back towards the basket. Because the backhand just tends to leak out a little bit. You saw Travis, you saw Dave kind of do the same thing. It's a tricky hole to park, especially uphill with this little bit of a, I don't know, knoll, I guess you would call it, in front of the basket. So we're gonna have a lot of circles edge putts here on the left side, it looks like. There's another one.
Yep. I was gonna say, it looked like there was a little bit too much hyzer, but almost identical to the previous shot, as we see some mulchy leaf putts. Ooh. Oh no, come back in. Oh, the first hiccup of the round for him.
Yeah, that's a bad mistake there from Travis. Great putt from Torrin, but yeah, I mean, I know he had a low ceiling. I'm sure it was a tough putt, but definitely got a little greedy there with the OB less than 15 feet behind the basket. You can't miss that putt high. Nicely done from Ethan there.
Yeah, that's definitely an unforced error that's going to make these scores a little bit tighter here as we continue the back.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have bogey at best, right? Puts him at 9 down. He's still in a great spot. Don't get me wrong. 9 down through 13 is still a very solid round. But momentum-wise, it's just an unforced error, right? Like you said, it's not good for the mental game.
But let's see how he recovers as we get ready to head into the fun Hole 14.
Fun? That's an interesting word to choose.
Oh goodness. So hole 14, as you can see, it is I think fun's an interesting word
Fun to
for
some.
it, but it's a short hole, 250 feet. What is your play here? Do you go backhand or do you try some weird spike forehand?
I've considered forehands on this hole because it is my nemesis,
Yeah.
and I try to do what Jessie and almost every player that's right-handed is going to do. You're just going to take an overstable putter or mid-range, and you're going to try to throw it flat through the right-hand side, and then you kind of just have to like hope you get lucky.
Mhm.
And Dave's got lucky, and he almost made
Oh
it.
gosh.
So that's a really great shot. But it's there's so many little skinny trees that you can't see from the tee that are behind this big tree that you're going to hit a lot. And then sometimes you do that, what Torrin did. If you try to get greedy and go for the far right gap, you just pull it a little bit and catch that stuff on the right.
Oof. He narrowly misses that first tree, but he does get caught up. Yeah, this is one of those holes that I think it's a challenge. And just he, oh, I thought he was going right into that little cavern in the tree.
Yeah, I definitely have seen that before. This dead open tree catches a lot of discs. Sometimes it's a Mando. Today it was not, so you don't have to go to the right of it. But it's a good up there from Travis just to kind of secure the par, get moving in the back in the right direction. But yeah, I mean it's you can pure this hole. Don't get me wrong. The right side is open, but a lot of the time when people do park it, it's because they kind of get lucky on the left-hand side and sneak through some of these skinny trees. Jessie has no fear running that 60-footer downhill.
It's the pants. They give him the
Yeah,
confidence.
he's emboldened. Yeah. That was a par putt, I think, from Torrin, so he's gonna cost him a stroke. Let's see if Jessie can make another.
Oh, a little bit low there. And you can see how challenging this hole can play. While it's, you would look at this on a card and say 259 feet. How are people bogeying this? But you can see it definitely has its teeth as we see a great birdie putt there.
Yeah, I mean, even if you get through off the tee, and you know do what Jessie did and run a putt that maybe you shouldn't have because it's a one-round tournament at Book and you think I need to birdie this hole, and then the bogey comes. You know, it's part of that mental battle, right? That a one-round tournament at a fairly easy course is not maybe as easy as some people think
Yeah,
it could be.
absolutely. As we see a couple bogeys, we see quite the spread on our card here as we head into hole 15. So this is where the pressure is really heating up. Like you said, it's a one round. We only have a couple holes left. This one's a shorty. It's a uphill. There's some trees to contend with from the tee pad, as you'll be able to see from behind the players. A lot of them are going to take this spike Kaiser approach, although I have seen a couple of people take a flexi forehand approach on this hole.
Yep, that's my play. Because these bushes create a really high floor
Mhm.
right in front of your face. So if you're not comfortable throwing like, oh, you guys are giving this ace
I
runs.
know.
If you're not comfortable with just this like really steep spike hyzer out of your hand, it's actually a pretty small window to hit. Where in my opinion, the like just force over forehand that just kind of pans to the left makes the gap a lot bigger. But as you can see from these guys, here's Jesse's going to show you what I'm talking about. But you know, the backhand is very much a viable option. It's only a 162-foot hole. There's a million different ways you could play it,
I've seen
and
many
still get
people
the
play it right
birdies.
into that bush, though. So all of our folks
Oh,
so
for
far have
sure.
missed it, which is
I've done
good.
it too, believe me. I'm not immune to the bush, but yeah, it's you just got to give yourself a putt. That's this whole course, right? Give yourself a putt.
Mhm.
Hopefully you make most of them, and you know, there you go.
And you can see
It
what
is
can
what it
happen
is.
with that spike hyzer play is we do have some of those branches there on the right hand side that if your height or release point isn't quite right, it can knock it down early and make the putt a lot more challenging.
Yep. Yeah. Again, like I said, the window is smaller than
Yeah,
it may seem on camera.
yeah.
That's a really good putt there from Travis to get things going back in the right direction. 25 or so footer. Not easy this late in the round.
No, not at all.
As
Oh,
you can see right there.
you can see out of his hand. I think he knew it. It was just a little bit of a short arm, but he's been putting great as we see a good birdie there from Jessie.
Yeah, Jesse and Travis are kind of locked in a battle here.
Yeah.
With 3 holes to go, 1 stroke separating them. Both of them are very much in contention. Obviously, there are multiple other cards, in MPO going on at the same time, competing at the same time, I should say. But these 2 guys are for sure in the hunt.
So hole 16 reads as 238, but it plays much longer. It's a par 3, but it's straight uphill, and then there's a little bit of plateau back to the basket.
Yeah, this one probably plays about 300, I would say, especially because the hill is that's a great shot from Travis,
that's how you do it.
as it has been for most of the round. But yeah, this hill goes straight up right in front of your face, so it's a really tricky thing to hit the angle, the nose angle right, to not have your disc stall out and end up short. That's a forehand is one way to mitigate that, going with the force over like Jessie did. That's a really great shot. Or you'll see a lot of guys just throw a standard hyzer flip backhand. But again, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. It comes out a little nose up from Dave, doesn't get the full turn, and he's 40 short left. So it's not this is definitely a tricky hole, definitely tricky to park, and we'll see if these guys can make these circle 2 putts that they're left with.
We're seeing some great attempts here. I do agree that this getting nose up is, and you can see that example here as he trickles out, but should still have a look. I like the forehand play though after watching that.
Yeah, the forehand's definitely tighter because there's a couple trees there on the left side that you have to contend with, but very much a viable option if you're comfortable with it.
I did see a couple successful thumbers on this hole as well, as we see a great putt there for birdie from David.
I like the thumber idea. I'm not a thumber guy, but definitely a viable option if you've got it. Nice putt from Ethan, too. Not the round he wanted today, but I'm sure, still a couple holes left. He can salvage a very reasonable round and sneak into the cash if he can get, these last 2, get himself to 8 under. Jesse's just vibes, just vibes.
Having a great time. So heading into the 17th hole, it's a par 3, 274. The basket is nestled into this little nook here with some roots. It's a fairly safe green, as long as you don't go long.
Yeah. Seeing these flyovers from the summer where it's so bright and colorful just makes me depressed.
Yeah.
Everything is so brown. It's just brutal, but yeah, anyway, this hole. It's right there. You just throw a putter or mid-range straight at it. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, Travis did a good job of it. There's this kind of bush on the right-hand side that sometimes comes into play if you throw it too low, but just kind of smoke that. But also well inside the circle.
I like the zone play here, letting it out wide and just coming back in. There was, once again, the wind did come into play a little bit, and I saw a couple players turn it over. And then as soon as that underbelly of the disc showed, it pushed way up into those trees there on the left-hand side. So I like to see the approach straight at it and letting the disc do the work.
Yeah, you definitely want to go something on the stable side for this hole because, yeah, if you throw something flippy and it flips over, it doesn't come back up the hill, right? Like the hill goes so far down to the right that you'll just end up over by 17 long. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you throw something with some stability. This Torrin, he's going way wide with something faster, which is working. Looks like he's got a putt.
I'm not sure where that ended up. He was flirting with that tree there, but he could have a putt there. Oh.
A little high from Dave. Good effort. He's had a bunch of those short circle 2 putts that he's just a little off on today. That's kind of been the difference between his, very solid 8 under, but very close to a great round.
We'll see. Just missed. He went to a straddle, which could have just caused him to pull it a little bit too far, as we see a great birdie putt there from Ethan.
Yeah, that was maybe a little bit of the pressure coming, getting Travis there. Oh, Jessie sneaks it in. You can't believe it.
You can't believe it. That's one way to do it.
That was wild.
Oh, that was funny. He'll take it, though. Puts him at 11, ties him with Travis, going with 1 hole to go. So.
And this is where players are starting to check that scorecard and see some other cards sneaking up on them for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple players in the mix in that double-digit category. We won't spoil anything for you, but you'll see here soon as both these guys definitely are looking to birdie this final hole. because it's still up in the air at this point.
And I love hole 18 because it's a great ending hole, though the tee pad is downhill and makes you feel like you want to keep falling down. But it's a longest hole probably on the course, 427-foot par 3 with the basket tucked in here. Although I did notice there was a tree or two down that did open up a different fairway option a little bit.
Yeah, there's for this regular basket, it doesn't really change the play because most of these guys are just going to go hyzer like Jessie does here. I think he's just throwing a Raptor, which is kind of sad for me because I got to go max distance driver. But yeah, you'll see most guys on this card just throw a hyzer, kind of pushing over those two trees on the right side of the bunker and fade back towards the basket. The alternate pin is a lot more open now, though, as we had a very large tree fall or was taken down recently.
I did see a couple players try to, that's a beautiful shot on this hole, but I did see a couple players try to take that newer open route with a turnover or forehand shot to open up the hole a little bit. But it definitely has some branches still into play as we see. This is looking good as well. Coming up a little bit short.
Yeah, you can just see how far this hole is, right? Like Travis throws far, like he can bomb the disc and he's still coming up like, circle 2. So this is a very long shot to keep on hyzer the whole time and get the distance. As Dave, he's going to, this is the common, landing zone, right? It's about 50 short. Again, like you said, this tee pad slopes downhill, so it's hard to really commit to your shot because it feels like you're going to fall over or slip out from under you. So these are all very good shots from these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody got caught up in the trees. Nobody went OB. So that means the hole is looking pretty good as we see some bids from circle 2 or beyond.
Trying to end with a highlight here, maybe. Let's see if Jessie can get to 12. A little low.
Just a little too low, but it looked good. We see the attempt here from Travis, just a little bit too left and low.
Nicely done there from Ethan. Gets himself to 8.
He's been coming back hard in the back 9 here.
Yeah, very strong finish from Ethan. Got the last 3 at least that I can remember. So solid, very solid round. 8 under, really well done. 11 under, also great rounds from Jessie and Travis. I'm sure I know they would tell me that they left some strokes out there on the back 9, but still very. Oh, Jessie.
Oh no.
Not the best way to end your tournament right there.
No, that's one of those things that you never want to see happen. But that's why we take our time, folks. That's why we take our time. And we see at the top of the leaderboard my co-host here with a scorching 14 down with a 1050 rating. Congratulations on an amazing round.
Appreciate it. Thanks. It was a solid day out there for sure.
And we're gonna send it down to Eric.
What a surprise, what a surprise. I knew the moment he told me that he didn't want to be on camera, this is the only time he's getting on camera, that he was probably going to take this one home. He does everything I ask all the time perfectly. He helped out checking all of you guys in. 1,050 rated round, highest rated round in any of my tournaments ever, his highest rated round ever, probably highest rated round at Buchmiller ever. $158. Put your hands together. Home Again sponsored. Let's go! Let's go, baby.
Hey, thank you all so much for coming out. Eric and I, Emily, Kayla, all of us really appreciate it. I love these like one-round winter tournaments where it's about community, it's about fun. Really appreciate it. Thanks HyzerMedia for filming. Thank you to my sponsors, Home Again Disc Golf, Elevation Disc Golf, and of course the Norse gods.
Let's go.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Oh!
So once again, thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. Make sure you check us out, subscribe, do all those YouTube things, and thank you so much for joining us for this fun winter course, and congratulations on the great win, Nate.
Appreciate it. See you guys in the next one.